So if we go to inventory and come down here to purchase orders, we can create a new one manually. Just click new to start a new session. And then if you like, you can run a report that tells you what you need to order. For example, we have a products to reorder report that's standard with Channergy. A lot of folks modify this. Maybe you want to show your sales for the last 3 months, that sort of thing. Just let us know. That's an easy thing to add. But the most basic one tells you, I have 20 in stock, and it's time to order more, 150. So it's telling me to order from cell phones, etc., 150 of these. Very basic. I can take this report and move it to another screen. If I don't have another screen, I can minimize it and then bring it back if I need to. It's right here. And refer to it as I'm creating an order. So again, this is just one item from one vendor, but that's easy for a demo. All we have to do then is either key it or press the F2 key here to bring up the search. And it looks just like the order search we saw earlier. And make sure that you're showing your item in the list. So here it is, BB 00007. I want to add that to the purchase order, but I want to do 150 because that's what the report tells me to add. And then maybe I want to add some more items too. So I'll just pop in a couple for comparison's sake. And again, you can right-click these and get details on them just like we did in order entry. When you're done, you can come back here and make changes. Maybe I don't agree with the report. Maybe I think I need 200 of these. It will pick up my actual cost, which in the demo is 0, but whatever your cost is. You can also put in a discount either across the board or on the item level or both. So maybe you get a 10% discount for everything here. And on this particular one, I'll get an extra 15%. You can indicate any messages, FOB instructions, specify your required date, specify your expected date, which is typically going to be the same. We'll update that expected date at the item level, and that's what shows up, if you remember, on the product screen. Your operators can see it, emails can see it. That's the date that we're expecting that product to come in. Indicating any terms you may have, and you're done. Now, I just manually created a PO, but we can automatically create a PO, again, based on your business rules. It's an existing script we just modify. So it would look at the same kind of data that you would. Maybe it's Christmas and I want to order for, like I did last Christmas, plus 10%. Or maybe I want to look at the sales for the last 3 months and use that to extrapolate what I want to order. Whatever your business rules are, it would just automatically create a PO that looks just like this, and then you can edit it, make changes, look at the report with the data that we use to come up with the same thing, and use that to make decisions. Once you're done, once you're happy with your PO, you can print it, you can fax it, you can email it as a PDF. It'll go straight to the vendor and they will fulfill it. When they do, you want to go to receive inventory. And so if we pop back here to the menu, under inventory, we go to receive inventory. And here we'll start a new session, choose the vendor we're receiving from, and then we can choose one or more POs to receive. I'm just going to receive that one I just created, but I could receive multiples if I want to. I can also receive the same one multiple times. Maybe they send a partial shipment, for example. Channergy will remember what you ordered, and if you like, you can click Receive All, and it will remember how many I've left to receive, which in this case is all of them. It's the first time. But maybe I want to change this. Maybe one was broken, so I got one less. Or maybe they force ship me an item. I could add that here. I can change the price I pay for it, the cost that I have associated with it. Here's my discount, for example. So this particular product is 0, so it's not too exciting. But if I get a 15% discount off $100, obviously it would show 85. Excuse me. If you have lot numbers or expiration dates you need to collect at this time, you can. You can also do serial numbers. So if you receive serial numbers up front and you like to say cage expensive products, for example, that would be a case where you'd want to record the serial numbers here, key them or scan them in. If you don't need to do that, then don't bother. When you fulfill orders, and we'll show you that later in the demo, at the point that you put it in the order, you can scan or key on the serial number so you know it went to the customer. So you have options either way. You can put in any shipping, tax, or adjustments here. So let's put in some shipping. Maybe the tax was this, and that one broken item, well, it was 0, but we'll say it's worth $5, so we have a $5 credit. What Channergy will do with this data is evenly distribute or weighted average distributed across these products. So the cost will be whatever your cost is plus its percentage of that. And we'll store that at the item level and then when you sell that, it's a first in, first out, so we know the cost of the item as it sells. So your margins may change. If you paid $5 for it this month and next month you paid $6, as you sell off the $5 ones, your margin's better than when you get to the $6. And if you also recall, we'll do a weighted average at the product level, so we know that as well. So you have all that data. Another important point here is that these particular products are going to receive into their default location. So if you remember the multiple locations at the product level, there's a first, second, and third, etc. The first one is their default. You can override that. So maybe you want to receive these instead of their default. Maybe you're going to receive it to a warehouse 3, bin 10. And maybe we just want to receive the first 50 there. You can do another pass for the other 149 if you want to a different location. But this way you can receive to staging areas, loading docks, different warehouses, different retail stores, etc. Also, if you receive an invoice from your vendor at this time or later, you can come back and put in your invoice number and your date. That'll trigger the export out to QuickBooks so that the vendor is created and the accounts payable is created, and your accountant or bookkeeper can pay for your product. When you're done, you click Apply to Inventory, and at that point we'll update all these quantities. We'll start pushing it up to your channels so that you can start fulfilling orders. It's also a place where a lot of folks like to fill back orders. I have a nice shortcut here called cross-docking. And with that, instead of receiving items, putting them on the shelf, then turn around, picking them, and fulfilling them, you can just receive them directly into customer orders. Refresh the list. It tells you what to pack. You can ship it right out the door. Save yourself all those steps. All right, one last thing in this area is called Adjust Inventory, and that's for taking inventory on the floor, either full counts or cycle counts. You can refresh this list with everything like we have here, or you can filter on specific fields and do cycle counts, or you can clear the list and just key or scan product numbers as you count them. You can also go out on the floor with a scanner, scan a barcode or key in the product number if you don't have barcodes, and key or scan in the quantity, and then come back here and load it up and just plug it in, and we'll load it up with the product numbers that you counted and the quantities that you put in. And you can refer to these quantities and see what your current number in stock is, whether you have any missing or breakage or theft, etc. When you're ready, the point you're ready to update your quantities, you click Update, and then we'll change all the quantities in stock. So it's a good way to take inventory on the floor.